Hi Silem stars, you're welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, please do also subscribe down below. It's absolutely free and it helps my channel grow. In today's video guys, I'm going to show you how to make a Bubu butterfly dress. So it's a Bubu dress but it has that butterfly effect. In addition, this dress is going to have a collar and it's going to have a slit in front. So if you want to see how to make this lovely Bubu dress, definitely keep on watching.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there.
So I'm starting off by folding my fabric. As you can see here, I'm using an ankara fabric 3 yards. I folded the fabric lengthwise, and when I measure it, what I have is about 62 inches thereabout. Now I'm going ahead to fold it again, still lengthwise. Now at the top part of the fabric, I'm going to mark the shoulder divided by 2, which is 7 inches, and then I marked the sleeve length, which is 15 inches from that shoulder divided by 2 points. Now for the width of the neckline, I marked 4 inches, and then for the depth, since I'm cutting the front and back pieces together, I marked the depth to be 2 inches. Now I'm just drawing a curve to create that neckline, and then I'm cutting along that curve. Now I've gone ahead to unfold my fabric, and then I'm folding it the other way, okay, in such a way that I can now see the shoulder or the fold of my piece. Now from that shoulder, I'm going ahead to mark 7 inches, which is the depth of my front neckline, okay. So now we're separating the front from the back now, as you can see. So I just connected that 7-inch mark to the width of the neckline with a diagonal line to create that V neckline for the front. If you want your neckline to be lower than this, you can go ahead and increase your neck depth for the front. Now in order to create that collar and slit design, I'm just marking 2 inches from the fold of the front piece. Make sure you're doing this on the front piece. So I'm marking that all the way to the hem of the piece, and then I'm connecting that with a straight line. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect that all the way up to the width of my front neckline. Now I'm just going to go ahead and cut along that line all the way to the hem. Now I'm going to go ahead and measure around the neckline all the way to the hem of the piece, okay. So just go ahead and use your tape and measure around the neckline, and take that tape measure all the way down to the hem of the piece, and take note of the measurements that you get. So when I measure mine, I've gotten to the end of my tape, so I'm just marking that 60-inch mark there. Then I'm starting my measurement again from that point all the way to the hem. And when I measure it all the way to the hem, what I have is 67 inches. Now I've gone ahead to take my piece of fabric. You can use the same fabric for this design, or you can use a different fabric. Unfold, this fabric is 2.5 inches wide, unfold. So when it's not folded, it means it's 5 inches wide. So I've gone ahead to use my hairstay to stick on the wrong side of the fabric. So as you can see, it's 5 inches when it's not folded, and 2.5 inches when it's folded. Now the length of this is 67 inches, which is what I measured, times 2, which gave me 135 inches. So obviously I had to join my fabric a couple of times in order to get this length, okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and fold this piece lengthwise, okay. So fold it right at the center, make sure that it's equal, and then just fold it lengthwise like so, and then go ahead and mark that center point, okay. Now as you can see, this is my piece. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure how high I want my slits to be from the hem. For me, I want it to be 17 inches high, so I'm just marking that point on my fabric there. Now you also want to decide how low you want your neckline to be. For me, like I said, I've already marked that 7 inches, but I'm going to be adding a zipper to the front part of this dress because I'm making this for a nursing mother, so I want it to be easy for her to breastfeed. So from the depth of my front neckline, I'm just marking 8 inches downwards, which is how long my zipper or how low my zipper is going to go. Okay, so if you're not putting a zipper, all you have to do is just take note of your front neckline. Okay, so for me, my front neckline was 7 inches, so just take note of that 7 inches mark. Now place the center point of your that band you cut out, and then use it to kind of align with the edge of your neckline, starting from the center of your back neckline. Then when you get to your neck depth in front, mark that point. Okay, for me now, because I'm adding that zipper, I'm also going to be marking the part where, or the point where my zipper is going to stop. Okay, but if you're not putting a zipper, simply stop at, or simply mark only that neckline, and then continue aligning the band all the way down to the hem. And then when you get to where you marked your slits, simply mark that point on your band as well. Okay, so this is where my slit is going to stop, so go ahead and mark that on your band as well. Okay, now do the same thing for the other side. From the center there, align your band all the way till you get to the bottom part of your neck for the front, and continue doing so all the way till you get to your slit. That's if you're not putting a zipper. But for me, because I'm putting a zipper, I've gone ahead to mark where my zipper is going to stop. I'm also aligning that and all the way to the hem, and then I'm also marking where my slit is going to stop. Okay, so once you've marked those points, what you want to do now is you want to unfold this band. Okay, so make sure you unfold it all the way. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and mark all those points that you had marked on the band. So use your pen or marker to mark it on the wrong side, so where you have the door face. So just go ahead and mark it so that it's very obvious. Okay, now after marking it, all you have to do is unfold it. Okay, like so. So after unfolding it, what you're going to do now is you're going to fold it right at the center. Now you're folding it lengthwise. Remember that it was folded widthwise before, so you unfolded it widthwise and now you're folding it lengthwise, making sure that the right sides are facing each other. So just arrange it nicely. Now once you're done with that, all those points you marked, you're going to go ahead and use your pen or marker and then just draw a straight line there. So those points you marked, so for me, like I said, I have 3 points: one for the slit, one for where I want my zipper to stop, and one for the depth of my front neckline. For you, if you're not adding a zipper, it means you're going to have 2 points, one at the bottom part of your neckline and then one at your slits. Okay, so just go ahead and mark those points with a straight line. So if you're not putting any zipper, what you're going to do is you're going to sew from that line for your neckline. You're going to sew all the way to where you have your slits. Okay, but for me, since I'm putting in a zipper, I'm going to be sewing from the line where my zipper is going to stop all the way to the slits. Okay, so like I said, if you're not putting any zipper, sew from the neckline point here all the way down to where we have the slits. Okay, now make sure you're sewing along that fold crease which is at the center. Okay, so I've gone ahead to sew mine. Now go ahead and pick up the 2 pieces on top like this, hold them together, and then arrange your piece in such a way that you can see that sewing right at the center. Can you see how nice it looks? You can see that the slit area has already formed nicely, and you also have the opening at the top part of your band. This is how nice it's going to be. Can you see? So can you see that the collar has already formed nicely as well? So the next thing we're going to do now is, obviously, we're going to join this to the rest of our dress. So this is our front piece here. We're going to go ahead and make sure that we align the midpoint of the band with the midpoint of the back neckline. And now we're going to go ahead and just pin the piece along the neckline, and we'll keep pinning it all the way till we get to the hem. So just keep pinning it all the way to the hem. So you're going to see that the opening at the top is going to stop nicely at the neckline, okay, and then the opening at the bottom part of the band is going to stop nicely where you marked for your slit to stop, okay. If you do it properly, this is what you're going to have. So once we've aligned it for one side, we'll go ahead and align it for the other side and then sew it down with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now once we're done, this is how lovely it looks, guys. Can you see the color nicely done? So this is what the opening of the slit looks like as well, okay. Now on the band, I'm going to go ahead and mark my actual neckline. So from the shoulder, I'm just marking that 7-inch mark, which is my actual neckline. So I know that from that neckline to the close I have on my band, that is where I'm going to attach my zipper, okay. So I'm just marking from the shoulder, I'm just marking 7 inches, you know, for the actual neckline, marking that on both sides. I'm going to take my zipper. I'm using an invisible zipper of this that has the same color with that band, so that it blends nicely with, you know, the neckline, and you won't even know that there's a zipper there. So I've just put it there in between, you know, that opening there. So I'm going to open up the zipper a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and just pin the zipper to the band, okay. So just go ahead and pin the zipper to the band, because I'm going to be top stitching the zipper to the band, okay. I can't put in the zipper the regular way you put in a zipper because there's no zipper allowance for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and top stitch the zipper to the band. So open the zipper all the way to the end and then just pin it down. Now when you're pinning the zipper to the band, make sure that the band gets very close to the zipper teeth, okay. Make sure the band is very close to the zipper teeth so that it conceals the zipper very well, okay. So after pinning, when I close it up, can you see how neat it is? Now I'm going to sew from the top all the way to the bottom and all the way back up to the top. So once we're done sewing it, can you see how neat our zipper looks? It's really invisible, you won't even know that there's a zipper there, okay. Now the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to mark our vertical measurement, since this is a butterfly dress. From the shoulder, I mark the bust point, which is 11 inches. I mark the waistline, which is 16 inches, and then I'm also going to mark the hip line, which is 24 inches, okay. Make sure you're marking this on the right side of the front piece, okay, because you're going to be sewing right on the right side. Make sure you're not marking this on the wrong side. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. From the shoulder, I'm marking 11 inches, which is the bust point right there, and then I'm marking the waistline, which is 16 inches, and then I'm also marking the hip line, which is 24 inches. Now I'm going to divide the bust circumference by 4, place that on the bust point line, and then I'm going to mark that measurement from the center, okay, from the center to one side. From the center to the other side, I'm going to mark that same bust circumference divided by 4, and then on the waistline, I'm going to divide the waist circumference by 4. I'm going to mark that on the waistline. I'm doing that on both sides, okay, starting from the center. On the hip line, I'll divide the hip circumference by 4, mark that on one side, and also mark that on the other side as well. Now I'm just adding 1 inch to all the measurements I marked, so just 1 inch allowance. Since this is a butterfly dress, okay, you want it to be free, and you want it to be able to be worn without any zipper, okay. So that's why I'm adding that 1 inch for ease, okay. Just mark that 1 inch for all the measurements. Now I'm going to connect all those points with a straight line. So just connect those points together. Now I'm going to go ahead and measure from the center all the way to where I have that point at the hip, okay. So the measurements we have at the hip, now that same measurement, I'm going to mark that all the way down to the hem, okay. So just mark the same measurement from the center to the hip, mark that all the way down to the hem. So it's supposed to be straight from the hip all the way down to the hem. So mark that on both sides and then connect that with a straight line. And once you're done, all you have to do is just sew along that line right on the right side. And this is the finished look, guys. This is such a lovely piece. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.